The Nokia 6 2018 edition, HMD Global's second edition of their best-selling smartphone from last year. Well, you've seen my initial impressions on it, but how did it fare in my 8 days with it as my primary smartphone? Well, let's find out in today's video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you've plain old forgotten, my name's Ash, you're watching C4ReTech, and if you do end up liking this video, well, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's now get to the review. So let's start with the build and design. Like I said in the unboxing, this is one of the strong points for the new Nokia 6. The accents to the chamfered edges, camera and fingerprint scanner gives the phone a kind of character. While the boxy build might not be for everyone, one can't disagree with the fact that it does look and feel premium while remaining reasonably ergonomic. This is Series 6000 aluminum, so it's quite durable too. The placements are all similar to what we've gotten used to, and for a more detailed look, do check out our unboxing. Here's a card. The display now remains at 5.5 inches, still a 16:9 panel with a full HD resolution, meaning a pixel density of about 400 pixels per inch. While that I've most definitely loved to see an 18:9 panel here, can't really complain about the quality of this display itself. It's sharp, vibrant, offers great contrast and has excellent viewing angles. This also happens to be covered by 2.5D Gorilla Glass and can get quite bright so that it doesn't pose any issues outdoors. Now there was one little thing that I disliked. Well, that's the use of on-screen keys. At a time where brands are switching to 18:9 panels so that the display size increases and the overall screen real estate is also increasing, HMD Globals moved the buttons onto the display. I was kinda annoyed that this would reduce the usable screen even more, but in my time with this phone I noticed that HMD Globals provided an excellent alternative. Gestures. So basically here you can just swipe to get the key you want. For example, swipe from the bottom left onto the screen for back, bottom center for home, bottom right for recent apps. You can even do that twice for quick switch. This solution worked extremely well and I got used to it in a matter of hours. This is probably one of my favorite gesture implementations. Yes, it's not perfect. For example, even now when I want to hit exclamation with Swift key, I end up pulling up recent apps from time to time. But given how snappy the Nokia 6 is, I didn't really mind it. It was more of a minor quirk than a major con. Now, why is this Nokia 6 so snappy? Well, the answer is twofold. One, the hardware underneath. The 2018 edition Nokia 6 comes with a much more powerful chip than its predecessor, the Snapdragon 630. With day-to-day usage, the 630 was fast and snappy with little to no lag, and that brings us to number 2, the software. The Nokia 6 2018 is currently on Oreo, an almost stock version of Oreo. Yes, this is the Chinese version of the firmware, but it is still very close to stock Android and as a result, extremely fast and snappy. Day-to-day usage on this guy is a pleasure, whether it's watching videos, scanning articles on websites, or checking social media. The Nokia 6 2018 flies. Its rock solid and consistent software experience is a big pro. I rarely experienced a stutter. Now it's not just with day-to-day tasks like this, even with more intensive ones like gaming, the Adreno 508 GPU inside held up quite well. Of course, with a very intense title, you might notice a frame drop here and there, but for the most part, with most games, it was smooth sailing. And talking about things like gaming and watching videos, it brings me to another thing I disliked in the unboxing, and still do to an extent. The first Nokia 6 had its earpiece double as a speaker. I love the stereo effect that it created. It was one of my favorite features. Sadly, HMD Global went ahead and removed that functionality with the 2018 edition Nokia 6. The earpiece doesn't double as a speaker anymore and I hate it. That said, the sole speaker at the bottom is excellent. In fact, it produces some of the loudest and cleanest audio output I've heard amongst phones I've recently tested. So that went a little way in reducing my disappointment in the lack of stereo audio. Now while we are on the topic of audio output, the output via the 3.5mm headphone jack was quite good too. We had no issues with cellular reception or call quality either. Another area where the Nokia 6 2018 shined is with regards to the battery life. Now this phone retains the 3000 mAh battery from its predecessor and manages to last a lot longer. In my 8 days, I never once ran out of juice before the end of my day. This is despite my usage ranging from very casual, days where I was just checking mails and stuff, to quite intense. My LG TV kind of conked out, meaning I'd end up watching a couple of hours of Netflix via this. And on one day, I actually, it was, hey, I mean, weird traffic, right? Insane traffic, Chennai traffic. So I decided to just ride to my grandparents' place via small, teeny tiny back roads, which meant I had to leave GPS on and keep checking maps every couple of minutes to make sure I was heading the right way. And even with weird usage like this, I ended every day with a lot left in the tank. So battery life, definitely excellent. And if you do have to plug it in, HMD Global has enabled support for fast charging here via the new Type-C port nonetheless. The Nokia 6 can go from 0 to 50 in about 30 minutes. So next, what else? Oh yeah, cameras. On paper, the 2018 edition of the Nokia 6 has the same pair of cameras as its predecessor. 16 megapixels f2.0 aperture, 1 micron sized pixels to the back, 8 megapixels f2.0 aperture, 1.12 micron sized pixels to the front. So are they really the same though? Well, we don't have the previous edition of the Nokia 6 to compare these side by side, but from what I can remember, I don't see a lot of difference. Yes, software wise there are a few changes. For example, we've got the Boti mode and so on, but the performance, the low light performance is still just about acceptable at best. The color reproduction is average. The noise levels are very high thanks to the relatively small sensor with 1 micron sized pixels and the not so wide f2.0 aperture. In dark scenes like this, the captured images turned out borderline unusable. You guys know displays, you've seen it many times in our samples. Phones like the Mi A1 7X and even the 9 Lite managed to capture the scene better. That said, this camera performs quite well under good lighting conditions. The images are sharp, it looks natural, there's no over sharpening done here. The dynamic range is okay when HDR is turned off, but guys, there is an auto HDR option. I had it enabled all the time and it did an excellent job. Here's a comparison. Moving on, the 8 megapixel selfie camera performed reasonably well. The selfies were sharp, good colors, good dynamic range. Yes, there's a HDR mode for the front camera as well. And here's the surprising part, it came with a portrait mode. Now, the implementation was, you can't expect pixel level implementation here, but you guys look at this portraits. So did you like them? I definitely did, but when I zoomed in, I did find a few blemishes near the edges in almost every image. That's why I said you can't expect, pixel levels of portrait mode implementation here, but honestly, they weren't really noticeable until I zoomed in. I just wanted to know if you guys felt the same way, hence wanted you to have a look before hearing my opinion. If you did feel the same, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, for what it's worth, the Nokia 6 2018 can shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second. There is no kind of stabilization, optical or electronic, hence the shake you see. That said, the quality itself is really good, the footage is sharp, colors look true to life, and the dynamic range is above average. But what kinda negates all those positives is an annoying issue with autofocus. It keeps hunting way too often, and not just when the camera is moving. Even when I'm pointing it at the same subject, at times it keeps hunting for focus, and that gets annoying really quick. Now do note that the Nokia 6 supports Ozo audio, and that is excellent. Here's a clip from our unboxing video showing off the same. So this part's being recorded via the selfie camera on the Nokia 6. How do you think it sounds? How do you think the quality of the footage is? Let me know in the comments below. Now circling back to the Boti feature, there's also a picture-in-picture mode. It is worth mentioning that these don't capture images on full resolution. 2730 by 1536 is the resolution of this combined image. That's barely 5 megapixels. Overall, for a 2018 mid-ranger, the camera performance is definitely disappointing. No dual cameras, poor low-light performance, insane focus hunting issues. HMD Global's camera game is more of a miss than a hit. But you know what's more of a hit than a miss? The pricing. The Nokia 6 2018 is priced at 1499 yuan in China. Now that's 200 yuan cheaper than the base price last year. So if and when it launches in India, the 332 variant can be expected around the 14,500 rupee mark or 15,000 rupee mark, and the 464 variant about 2,000 rupees more. At these rates, the Nokia 6 2018 will not be going head to head with Chinese heavyweights, but it definitely will be offering better value than other phones from tier 1 manufacturers. In fact, this year, the value that HMD Global's offering with their Nokia 6 2018 is more closer to the Chinese offerings than tier 1 brands. Now, this is something we couldn't say about the Nokia 6 last year. So it's definitely a better phone this year. So does that mean you should buy it? Well, the Nokia 6 2018 checks quite a few boxes: performance, battery life, build, software. Oh yeah, remember HMD Global have been living up to their promise of swift updates and security patches. So it does miss out on a few too. For example, the lack of an 18:9 panel, the camera performance. So these two aren't really high on your list of priorities, and if you wanted a solidly built phone that can deliver good performance without compromising on battery life at the same time while it receives fast updates, then the Nokia 6 2018 is the phone for you. But if not, I'd recommend you look elsewhere. There are quite a few offerings from other brands too. So that's it for my conclusion. Do you agree with what I've had to say in this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you hated this video, I'm pretty sure you know what to do. But if you did like it, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Also, if anyone you know, a friend or a family member is interested in Nokia or phones in this price segment, do consider sharing this video with them. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4 Tech, calling it like I see it. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.